Logan Paul is one of the most controversial YouTubers ever.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone right there.
God, stop fucking showing it. What's wrong with you?
There wasn't regret when he went and did it. There wasn't regret as he was editing it. There wasn't regret when he posted it.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
I am a good guy who made a bad decision.
Because it's a serious health concern for the kids it so feverishly targets.
CryptoZoo.co. I am so excited about this project. It's so fun.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
$120,000. $500,000 Australian, which is $500,000 in CryptoZoo.
It's a really fun game that makes you money.
But before he was this millionaire villain with more controversies than brain cells, he was a little kid making videos in his kitchen and messing around with his little brother. So what happened? How did Logan Paul become the widely hated man he is today? And why does he insist on continuing to do things that get him in the hot seat despite his extreme success? Before we can get into his massive list of controversies and figure out his motivation for doing it, we gotta go back.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Whoa, okay, farther back. Nope. Even farther back. There we go. Logan Alexander Paul was born on April 1st, 1995 in Westlake, Ohio. Oh shoot. Logan Paul is from Ohio? That's so stupid. Anyways, Logan Paul grew up as an athlete. He competed in many different sports, but most prominently wrestling. And his family life at the time was questionable. In a Netflix documentary about Logan's brother Jake Paul, Logan and Jake talk about how their dad, Greg Paul, was physically rough with them growing up. And on an episode of the Impulsive Podcast, Logan and Jake both claim that their dad, Greg, was physically abusive to them.
Did you beat my ass when I was young? Because I have vivid memories of being thrown down the stairs.
I saw that a couple of times, and also I've been thrown through a wall.
Wait, which wall?
In my room.
Though Greg does deny all of that.
That was from your mom.
They say they don't resent him for this behavior, but that it made them into tougher adults, which I don't know if that's true. I don't think that if you're constantly scared of getting beat growing up, that it's going to make you a stronger person. But regardless, Greg Paul, even if he didn't abuse them, he's certainly a very strange man. He's very angry. The amount of clips online of him like getting pissed off and trying to fight someone is insane.
What the f is wrong with you guys? You stupid motherfuckers! What the f is wrong with you? Because if you do, I will fucking punch you.
And I don't doubt that that attitude translated into his parenting. I also checked him out on Instagram for this video, and holy shit, he is so obnoxious.
Yo, folks, what's going on? GP coming at you. Listen, I want to wish a happy Father's Day to all the good dads out there. The dads that are raising their boys to be men and raising their girls to be ladies. I support you. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing the right thing. And for all you guys who have penises and you think you can go in the girls' locker room, you might be trans, but you're still a dude if you have a unit and you don't belong in the girls' locker room. You don't belong in girls' sports. For all you men or boys who think you belong in girls' locker rooms or girls' sports, stop being a pansy ass. And for all of us real men out there, we got to stand up and push back and fight against this shit because it's not right. And here's to all the good dads out there, man. GP's out.
Bro, what? The tone switch is crazy. Cheers to all the good dads out there. Love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. And all those trans people. What was that? Where'd that come from? Also, why is bro going on like this transphobic rant in the middle of public? Like, bro was really just like taking a stroll around the town doing some shopping when all of a sudden he just felt this weird inclination to pull out his phone and start screaming about trans people. Like, what is bro yapping about? Also, it's not like a man just like randomly decides, you know what? I think today I'm gonna go become a woman and go dominate women's sports and like sneak into the girls' locker room. Like, that's not what happens. Gender dysphoria is a very serious thing where someone feels like they're born into the wrong gender and they genuinely don't feel comfortable in their own skin until they're able to identify as the opposite sex. I know it's hard to understand as someone who hasn't experienced it, and it's okay to not understand it, but to say they're, quote, making a huge mistake and we need to fight back. Like, you genuinely don't know what you're talking about, and this is not your place to speak. Also, you gotta love how he just, like, limits the comments on the posts so that no one can fight against his transphobia, even though you can, like, totally tell he's someone who's always, like, yelling about how people shouldn't be canceled or censored or whatever. A little hypocritical, but People shouldn't be held back from saying their thoughts on stuff. But if you have an opinion that's different than mine, then I'm not gonna let you say it. I also can't talk about Greg Paul without mentioning the most infamous Greg Paul clip of all time. So back in 2017, when the Paul brothers were at the peak of their daily vlogging careers, which we'll get there here in a minute, Jake Paul posted a video titled "Kissing Contest, Me versus My Dad." Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is.
Olivia, we're blindfolding you, and then we're all gonna kiss you, and then you have to guess. You have to say 1, 2, or 3 was the best. Okay?
Maybe.
All right. Okay, contestant number 1, good job. Last but certainly not least, contestant number 3, step on up. Number 3, good job. Okay, that concludes our contest today of who's the best kisser.
That's the man that raised the Paul brothers. It makes sense, doesn't it? He's a creepy, old, angry, transphobic man. Now, I could sit here and rant about Greg Paul for hours, but I won't make you sit through that. But I do think it's important to note the man that Logan Paul was raised by. As Logan grew up, he showed interest in creating videos online. In 2008, Logan and Jake started a YouTube channel called Zooo, where they would do these silly skits inspired by their, quote, favorite YouTube channel, Smosh.
Alright, what we have here today is a blowhorn. We are going to test it out right now. It's pretty loud. So here we go.
It's kind of sweet to see baby Logan Paul aspiring to be a YouTuber. Like, you can really tell that he has a passion for it growing up, and I can totally relate to that. As Logan went through high school, he and Jake continued to make silly videos on the Zooo channel, doing random skits and even pranks. It was clear that they wanted to be entertainers when they grew up. Then, in 2013, an app called Vine came out. If you guys are too young to remember Vine, or you're too old to have ever cared about it when it came out, I'll explain what Vine was. Also, to be honest, I'm kind of too young to remember it myself. I'm old enough to remember that it existed, but not old enough to have actually used it when it was around. But basically, Vine was this short form social media platform, kind of like TikTok is today. But instead of the videos being cringy dancing videos and dark, dangerous conspiracy theory rabbit holes, as well as AI generated brain rot, it was just stupid skits and jokes that were capped at being 6 seconds long. That's right, 6 seconds long. How the fuck are you supposed to say anything in 6 seconds? Despite this, the app was extremely successful, with a peak of 200 million active users. And Logan and Jake saw Vine as a great opportunity to get their names out there, and it worked really well.
It's a scorcher today. Come on. I got it. Copper 19 requesting backup. Oh, like this? Is this a scene, Amy? Is this a scene?
This is the hardest thing to explain to people.
Logan was blowing up. Meanwhile, he was still at college at Ohio University. Logan eventually decided to drop out of college and become a full-time influencer. Everything was looking up for Logan. He was living the dream. Then, in January of 2017, Vine shut down. This led to hundreds, if not thousands, of creators from Vine trying desperately to move their audience from Vine over to YouTube. This is what's called the Vine invasion. This ended up sending us some great YouTubers like Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, and the Vine invasion also brought some not so great YouTubers like Brent Rivera, David Dobrik, and the Paul brothers. And while at the time it seemed like their careers had just vanished from under their feet, this ended up being the best thing for the Paul brothers. The thing is with Vine that it just wasn't making enough money to stay afloat. And I'm sure if the company wasn't making enough money, then the creators probably weren't either. Logan and Jake started making daily vlogs on their YouTube channel, and this changed everything.
Morning Low Gang was popping.
Which aisle should I get naked in?
I say we kidnap Eric.
I see my bird nesting on the floor.
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Logan started pumping out vlogs of him doing whatever he could think of every single day. He hired an editor, and with the help of him and a few friends, they grinded out content. He launched merch, started learning how to clickbait, and before you know it, he was growing at record speed. From 5 million subscribers in June of 2017 to almost 10 million subscribers in August of 2017. He was taking over YouTube. Now guys, I gotta level with you here, and please don't hate me for this. I used to be a low gangster. That's right. I was a Logan Paul fan for like a really long time. If you guys have been fans of the channel for a while, you probably already knew this. I talked about it in my Prime video. But yeah, during the daily vlog era, 2016, 2017, I was a massive Logan fan, okay? I watched every video. I even had the merch, okay? Oh boy, don't even get 10-year-old me started on those diss tracks. Ooh. I'm not gonna get that in depth into the whole diss track beef in this video. It's just not important. But basically, it was this thing where Jake Paul made a song, Logan Paul made a song, and they were dissing each other in the videos. They call them diss tracks. I'm using the word song and diss track here like really loosely. They basically fabricated this whole beef where they were like fighting. I don't know. It was honestly pretty stupid, but I and tens of millions of other children ate it up. What was it? Little brother Jakey tried to roast me. What? I can't believe I unironically listened to those songs when I was a kid. I actually listened to The Fall of Jake Paul by Logan Paul. Unironically, it was on my playlist. In fact, most of the songs on my playlist at that time were Logan Paul songs. Can't believe I did that. It's so cringe. Logan was actually a big inspiration for me at this point. Today, I'm obviously very critical of the guy. And trust me, I don't look up to him as my role model anymore. But at this point, I was a super fan of Logan Paul. And in my mind, Logan Paul had the perfect life. He got to make millions of dollars and become famous for just being himself on the internet all the time. Now, everybody above the age of 15 looked at Logan Paul and wrote him off as the cringy bozo that was making slop for kids in order to manipulate them into buying his merch. Which, of course, now I look back and I see that. Totally. I mean, in his old videos, he's constantly plugging his merch. So much so that I have like vivid memories of me and my friend Noah running around his backyard just yelling, LoganPaul.com/shop for some reason. He said it so much that as fans of him, we would run around just screaming his merch website. Yeah, I think he was kind of manipulating us into buying his merch. Also, looking back at his old content, it was like really sexual too. There was a lot of videos titled things like "Gone Sexual," and while Logan's audience was entirely made up of children, the content he was making was honestly like not for kids. And rightfully so, commentary creators would pick on his cringy and manipulative behavior. And here's the thing, while I totally agree with these people, and Logan was totally a cringe guy, he was totally taking advantage of his kid audience to cash out big time, and that includes me. I totally recognize that, but because I loved his content so much growing up, and I have so many good memories attached to it, I can't help but look back at all this old content and just feel nostalgia. Logan Paul breaking plates in his apartment and fake fighting with his friend Dwarf Mamba. Logan constantly teasing the second verse of the diss track and always talking about being a maverick, being different. Him arguing with his bird and hanging out with his Pomeranian Kong. Like, this shit might sound stupid as hell, and don't get me wrong, it is. But I look back at this shit so fondly. Even still, just, I don't know. He brought me a lot of joy growing up. I mean, how can you not feel anything but joy looking at videos titled something like, I kidnapped my brother's wife? Wait, what the f? Now, you also gotta understand that daily vlogging is a very straining task. You have to be so locked in on posting every single day that you start to lose sight of your actual life and you start thinking about everything as content. And that's exactly what happened to Logan Paul.
I will say before you watch, this is graphic. I think this definitely marks a moment in YouTube history.
I think there's someone right there.
Oh, buddy. This is where Logan Paul's long list of controversies really starts. By the way, trigger warning for this segment, we're gonna discuss topics of self-harm. So if you feel like skipping that, totally understand. Here's a timestamp to skip to. So as 2017 was coming to an end, Logan Paul was on top of his game. He had reached 15 million subscribers and he was averaging 5 million views on each video every day. Then he decided to take a trip to Japan. While in Japan, of course, he made videos. In said videos, he would just go around in public and basically make a fool of himself. But nothing too out of the ordinary for Logan. Then, on December 31st, 2017, Logan uploaded a video titled, "We found a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest." In the video, Logan Paul and his friends just wander around the forest trying to, like, talk to ghosts or something.
Hey, you're a ghost in this forest. Please leave us alone.
And not very surprisingly, they stumble across a victim of suicide. And rather than putting down the cameras or cutting this out of the vlog, they decided to lean into it and package the entire video around it. Logan and his friends ran up to the corpse and filmed it, zoomed in on it. Ugh.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone right there. I'm not even fucking kidding. Do you see it? I'm not even, this isn't a fucking joke, guys. That's a fucking person. No. Dude, I told you. No.
I think you're fucking right. Oh my god.
No.
Dude, what the heck? Camera, let's go.
Now, this video has been mostly scrubbed from YouTube, and for good reason. But remember how I was a big Low Gangster at this time? Yeah. I watched this video right after it came out. I vividly remember my 11-year-old self watching this video, and I remember Logan and his friends joking around and zooming in on the hands, which were turning. Meanwhile, Logan was wearing this stupid fucking Toy Story hat. They were incredibly disrespectful to the victim. And don't forget, he's posting this to his audience of children. And rightfully so, the internet and mainstream news was pissed at Logan Paul for doing this. Despite that, the video was on YouTube trending. What? Logan Paul's Suicide Forest video was on trending. That's interesting. This controversy quickly became massive. And the very next day, Logan Paul took down the video and posted an apology to Twitter, which, let's just say, this apology was not well received. The apology was incredibly self-centered, and he closed out the apology with, I kid you not, peace sign emoji, hashtag Logang for life. Oh god. Sorry I filmed blogging the Japanese Suicide Forest, guys, but I'll see you guys later. Hashtag like and subscribe, guys. Hashtag Logang for life. Due to the poor response on this apology, he made another one on his YouTube channel, which is the now iconic video where he says,
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
Bro, I actually love that video. I've watched that video like a million times. So iconic. Like, for real though, like, why did bro pull out the thesaurus to say, I messed up? Like, you don't have to get all fancy word on us. Fancy word on us? What am I talking about? But for real, the apology did seem like it came from a genuine place. I don't think he was sorry for the act of filming the body or posting it. I think he was sorry that he got in trouble for it. The reason you can tell that's where he's coming from is because, think about it, he had to film the video, go through with the incredibly disrespectful and disturbing act of filming the body. Then he sent that off to the editor, probably gave notes on the edit, and then watched the final version and thought, that's a good video. I'm gonna post that to my YouTube channel with 15 million subscribers filled with children that watch. And then he posted the video. That wasn't an accident. Then after all of that, he made a defensive response where he said that he got caught up in making daily videos and lost sight of what he was doing. Which, to be fair, I'm sure that is what happened, but you made this schedule for yourself. No one is making you post daily videos. He's saying that the absurd posting schedule that he keeps himself to made him not able to realize that filming a body and posting it to children was a bad decision. Then, after getting controversy for that, he finally made a somewhat genuine response where he actually apologized for real. There was so many steps where he could have fixed that mistake, but he didn't.
This is a 22-year-old young man. This is one thing, one time, one bad decision.
After the Forest incident, Logan Paul took about a month off of posting videos, which I remember at the time felt like ages, only to eventually come back and start vlogging again.
Regarding everything that happened, I took the blackout, guys. I met with suicide prevention experts. I made the Suicide Be Here Tomorrow video. As you guys know, I've pledged to donate $1 million to suicide prevention organizations. I'm sort of immersing myself in this world, and it's something, obviously, like, I'm not gonna try to ignore it. I can't ignore it. And so I'm not gonna pretend like that didn't happen.
Now, from this point on, Logan Paul actually did a pretty good job at repairing his reputation. He kept on grinding out videos. He didn't film any more bodies, though he did tase that dead rat on camera. People weren't that happy about that, but otherwise, he didn't film anything dead. And then he started the Impulsive podcast. And this podcast actually showed people that Logan was starting to mature a little bit. This podcast, he was actually able to show himself for a longer period of time, and you could start to see that he has actually grown as a person. He also announced a boxing match with YouTuber KSI, which was a massive event and introduced a lot of people into the world of YouTuber boxing. And for the most part, The internet had forgiven Logan Paul. No one had forgotten about the forest incident, but look, actions speak louder than words. And Logan took this moment of lapse in judgment and decided that he was gonna make a change. And people respected him for that. At this point, I was still a Logan Paul fan. I watched the Impulsive podcast, and while I had grown up and didn't really care for his old vlogs, it felt like his vlogs started to grow up too. Especially when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. He was trapped in his room with his cast of friends, and they made these really fun, short vlogs that I still look back on and I really enjoy. They're edited phenomenally and they're just honestly really entertaining. But over time, I started to become less and less of a low gangster. I really only tuned into the Impulsive podcast if a guest that I really liked went on the show or something. And then something happened that made me not call myself a Logan Paul fan anymore. All right, the year is 2021, and Logan Paul started to get interested in crypto and NFTs. He posted this on Twitter, which shows that he invested $2 million in NFTs over the course of the year, which is crazy. And it wasn't long before Logan Paul started to take this interest of crypto and NFTs and make his own. Now, I want to make it clear that while crypto and NFTs may be confusing to a lot of us, just because you tried out a crypto or NFT project doesn't inherently make it a scam, but it is definitely a scam when you use your existing audience to tell people to go buy it, and then they do, and you pump up the value, and then you just sell off and never look back. That's a scam. That's what's called a pump and dump scam. And unfortunately, Logan Paul has done many of these over the past couple years. DinkDink and Zooo being the most prominent examples of Logan Paul's shady projects. Now, you gotta be careful here, because Logan Paul is actually suing Mr. CoffeeZilla, who helped bring Zooo to light. And we'll talk about how he's suing him in a minute, but I just want to be clear here, if Logan Paul or his legal team is watching this video, that what I'm saying in this video about Logan Paul's crypto and NFT projects is all alleged information. It is not 100% fact, but it is my opinion on what happened. I'm not making any accusations. I'm only repeating the accusations that have already been made and giving my take on them, okay? We good? So, DinkDink. DinkDink was this stupid South Park ripoff crypto NFT show thing. I don't know. They made these weird ass videos for it.
I know you're my manager, but you gotta be on drugs if you think I'm doing a brand deal for a fucking toilet paper company, Jeff.
Oh my god, is that Logan Paul?
Oh, whoa, hey, ladies,
girls.
what's up?
I don't even know what I'm watching. Now, what's Logan Paul's affiliation with this coin? I'm glad you asked, because he promoted it like this. This is the dumbest, most ridiculous shitcoin I've ever seen, and that's why I'm all in. Oh, okay, so Logan just found this and he thought, oh, that's fun, I want to tell people about it. No. He made it and he designed it too. He also got all of his friends to promote it on Twitter.
Guys, what's up? It's me, Mike, here to send some love and camaraderie to the DinkDink Telegram team
of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, coin of all time.
And this is not some funny, cool project they decided to do together either. They created this stupid coin and used their platforms that they are so lucky to have to promote this shit coin to their audience just so it would pump up the value so they could sell it off and make a quick buck. Then never look back again. This, of course, leads to so many of the viewers that trusted you enough to listen to what you told them to invest in losing a shit ton of money. And they promoted it in a way that was like ironic or whatever. They were calling it a shit coin in the promotion, right? That doesn't make it not a pump and dump and a shitty thing to do. That's like if you robbed someone, but then you told them that you were just joking, so it's no big deal. Put everything you got in the bag or I'll kill you. Oh my god, please don't kill me, please. Yeah, I'll blow you to smithereens if you don't put everything you got in this bag, you stupid. Okay, holy shit, please. I have a family, they need me. They need me to support them. Yeah, I know where you live, and I'll kill them too if you don't pay up right now. Okay, here you go. Please don't hurt me. Alright, thanks bro. You know I was just playing around, right? Oh, okay. So I can get my money back then? Gotta go. Nice to meet you, bro. But yeah, DinkDink was Logan's introduction into the world of crypto and NFT scams. From here, he went on to do great things in the space. Depends on what great means, I guess. fucking Crypto Zoo. This is probably the most iconic one of Logan's crypto projects because it's probably the most damaging. This story is extremely intricate with so many details that make it worse and worse. I'm not going to be going into the entire situation of Crypto Zoo and how it came to be and what it was, because I mainly want to focus on the backlash and the response to it. But here's the rundown. Logan began promoting this, quote, really fun game that makes you money.
It's a really fun game that makes you money.
He promised big things from this, quote, game, but in reality, the game was yet another scam. First of all, the game never actually came out, but people invested millions of dollars in anticipation from the game and in trusting Logan Paul. Which, why would you trust Logan Paul with crypto? I mean, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but like, don't get advice from this dude on what to invest your money in, okay? Just a little tip. Once it was revealed that this game was nothing but shitty looking AI created weird images of animals, Logan tried to sever himself from the whole situation, saying it was the developers who were at fault, and he tried to just basically move on with his life. Then the YouTuber CoffeeZilla created a phenomenal series where he exposed this scam really in depth and in a very interesting and entertaining way. This series exploded and now has over 46 million views combined. There's also been creators like Penguin Zero who talked about the whole situation as well, bringing millions and millions of more people's attention to it. After all this info came out about this, inherent scam, allegedly, Logan made a response video on his channel, but this time it wasn't him crying about the mistake that he made. It was him arguing against CoffeeZilla, calling him greedy and manipulative of the truth, and he even threatened to sue him for defamation.
CoffeeZilla, I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as so I'm not going to come on any of your podcasts. If you want to come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build Crypto Zoo, and I'll see you in court.
Logan also said that Crypto Zoo wasn't a scam and that the game was still going to be coming out.
Crypto Zoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it.
He also talked about this on his podcast, which was pretty much just as bad as the video. Before CoffeeZilla even had a chance to respond to all of this on his channel, Logan Paul faced immense backlash for this whole response, and he ended up taking down the video on his channel. Logan went on to make a third response video, but this time with a very, very different tone. This one being titled, "Thank You, CoffeeZilla."
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire. And I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in. But the fact is that suing CoffeeZilla is not gonna help Crypto Zoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be, which is on fans and supporters of me. You guys mean the world to me, so I'd like to announce my 3-step plan moving forward. Step 1, Jeff and I are going to burn our Zoo tokens so we have no financial upside in the game, and it will add value to holder tokens. Step 2, we want to offer a rewards program for players who are disappointed in the status of the game. I am personally committing 1,000 ETH to this, which is about $1.3 million right now for players who want to get out. And then step 3, obviously finish and deliver the game as outlined in the white paper by completing the egg bridge from ETH to BSC for base animals and base eggs, completing the marketplace, and obviously completing the releasing your animals into the wild to accrue your yield function. I know this video is long overdue. Here it is. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for how this has unfolded thus far, and I want people to know that they can trust me and that I'll always take care of the fans and people who support me. And lastly, thank you, CoffeeZilla. You have catalyzed this, and I am very grateful for your work and your investigation, and I mean that. Thank you, bro.
This is by far the best response from Logan Paul on the situation so far. He took a little bit of accountability and detailed a somewhat decent plan to move forward. But here's the problem. First of all, why did it take so long for him to make this conclusion? Why was his first and second reaction to sue him for defamation and call him greedy for exposing his scam? Also, why did he post the actually somewhat solid apology video on his smallest channel? I mean, considering how many eyeballs were on this whole situation and the podcast episode that they made on this whole situation having 2 million views, whereas the video that's actually a good response on his second channel has only 380,000 views. a year and a half later. I don't think that was on accident. I think he wanted the majority of his audience to be there with the impression that he didn't really do anything wrong like he portrayed in the first video. Scummy behavior. Scummy behavior for sure. So this is where the crypto zoo controversy ends, right? You see, after that, we thought, oh, Logan will go refund these people and we can all move on with our lives, right? But, yeah, no. Fast forward about 6 months later, and Logan Paul hasn't said a word about CryptoZoo, and he definitely has not refunded any of the victims. CoffeeZilla then posted a video where he explained that while he's been trying to contact Logan about the refund, he's done it 4 separate times. He didn't get a response until eventually he did get a response, but it was from Logan's lawyer, which basically just said, we're going about finding a way to do the refunds, which is insane because this is 6 months after he promised to pay back people, in which he already detailed a plan to refund people, but he didn't do any of that, yet he still gets credit for having promised to do it. Fast forward another 6 months, and Logan is finally refunding victims, kind of. You see, after waiting over a year to pay back any of the victims after he promised to, those said victims sued Logan Paul. Logan then announced that he would no longer be making the game like he said he would.
CryptoZoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it.
And after being sued, he offered a $2.3 million refund, which isn't great if you consider that the total estimated damages of CryptoZoo was $18.5 million. CoffeeZilla said it best here.
These investors spent 3 years waiting for a game. Not only that, 2 years waiting for an update, which he never gave, and then a year suing him. And after all of that, all he offers is a 12% refund, no game, 30 days to accept.
Fast forward to today, and Logan Paul is suing CoffeeZilla for defamation. This is so stupid. He claims that his motives were corrupt and that he needs to be held accountable. It's a very similar tone to Logan's original response. The reason this is all so confusing is because Logan has many different times praised CoffeeZilla for his work and for his investigation. Not to mention he literally thanked him for the whole thing.
But the fact is that suing CoffeeZilla is not going to help CryptoZoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be. Thank you, CoffeeZilla. You have catalyzed this, and I am very grateful for your work and your investigation.
Logan Paul can't make up his fucking mind. He goes, I'm gonna sue you for defamation. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes, actually, dude, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. I'm gonna do this. And then he's like, I'm actually just not gonna do that. And then they sue him, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll do it. And then he's like, actually, CoffeeZilla, I am gonna sue you after all. Make up your mind! What are you talking about? This is crazy. What's happening? Now, there's plenty of details that I left out of the CryptoZoo situation that make it even crazier, but I think you get the point. It's clear that Logan is desperate to pin the responsibility of his actions onto someone else because he's scared of the repercussions. So, obviously, I left out quite a bit of controversies that Logan Paul has been involved in, like the time where he ruthlessly made fun of his podcast co-host's religion, or the insane amount of controversy that surrounds his drink brand Prime, which, by the way, I made an entire video about Prime. Definitely go check that out after this. But anyways, there's many different controversies that I didn't touch on in this video that Logan Paul was involved in. But if I sat here and named out every single one, we'd be here all day. This is already probably one of the longest videos I've ever made. But I don't think it's necessary to go over all that either. You get the point. This dude can't stay away from controversy. But why? Why does Logan Paul keep finding himself in these situations? He's incredibly successful. Why does he keep risking all of his career on these stupid things? Well, look at Logan's whole career. He's always said that he, quote, wants to be the world's biggest entertainer. You could see it even when he was a little boy, making videos and trying to sell merch. He's always been an attention seeker. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. The problem is when you don't care about what type of attention that is. He is greedy, and he loves when people talk about it. Think about almost every controversy that Logan Paul has been a part of. When the Forest incident happened, at first, he made a very self-centered and defensive response. Then, when it was suddenly starting to hit the mainstream, and he realized that the parents of his audience is going to start figuring out about what he did, and YouTube said, hey, we're going to cut you out of the preferred ad program, probably cutting his AdSense in half, he was like, oh, I actually am sorry, guys. You're right. I was wrong. You're right. I'm sorry. Actually, this. He wouldn't have actually given a shit about what he did if it didn't actually risk losing money and fame. Or if you look over at all of his alleged crypto scams, he allegedly pulled like 5 straight up pump and dump schemes until someone finally really started to call him out on it. And he responded yet again in a very defensive way. Then when he realized yet again that people were really fucking mad about this, he made another response where he made a bunch of empty promises, and then he decided to end up going ahead and fucking suing him. It's clear to me that Logan is a very greedy man that craves attention and fame. He will pump and dump any shitcoin for a quick buck, no matter the effect it has on his audience. But when it comes back around to actually hurt him and he ends up being sued or ruthlessly criticized, he'll finally do something about it. Every apology he's ever given that's been regarded as genuine was not the first apology. He's not sorry for what he did. He's sorry that it came back around to bite him in the ass. I'm someone who's been a big fan of Logan Paul for a long time. I mean, I used to look up to this guy, and I credit a lot of my original inspiration for making videos to Logan. But over the course of my time watching him, I've found him increasingly harder to support. Till eventually, I just didn't support him at all anymore. Because over time, I realized that all he really cares about is making millions of dollars and staying relevant. Now, I know I'm being kind of harsh on Logan here, but hold on, because that's actually not the end of the story. Yep, that's right. Logan Paul is not only married, but his wife is pregnant. Now, while my first reaction to this was, oh shit, Logan Paul's gonna be a dad, that's gonna be a disaster, the more I thought about it, the more my perspective started to change. Maybe a baby is exactly what he needs to get a hold of himself. And I've been watching some of Logan's podcast clips and videos that he made talking about his baby on the way, and I feel like this actually might force Logan to mature.
I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah, Nina is pregnant. She's about 16 weeks pregnant, and she's due this fall. What a feeling. What a feeling to get told by the person you love most in the world that you guys are having another person together. That's gonna be half her and half me. And man, if it's a girl, we don't know the gender yet, I'm just gonna melt. It's like a feeling that I can't even comprehend right now, especially if it looks anything like Nina. Like, I love Nina so much, and then this little version of her that's also half me. I am gonna have the responsibility of teaching this young human how to be a person. They're gonna be watching me. I'm their dad, and I think being a parent is probably one of the hardest and most important jobs in the world, and there's a lot of weight that comes with it. It's a complete life shift, and for the first time in my life, as you guys know, I can be pretty selfish, but for the first time in my life, I've moved 2 rungs down the priority ladder. Whereas before, like, truthfully, and even now, I'm number 1. I just am. Baby comes out, Nina baby me, or baby Nina me. It doesn't matter, but those 2 are interchangeable. But like, those are my 2 most important priorities in my life partner and my child, and then myself. And so I think that mind shift for me is going to be a new chapter of my life again, and I'm excited for it.
Like I said, Logan is someone that I used to look up to, and I won't lie, there's still a part of me that has a soft spot for him due to those very great memories that I have attached to him. And you also got to remember that Logan Paul was reaching massive levels of fame in his early 20s. So I can't say I'm entirely surprised that a 22-year-old with tens of millions of subscribers and dollars was a bit of a shithead. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing his actions by any means. But what I'm trying to say is that if Logan Paul takes the right steps going forward, he could repair his reputation. I'm optimistic that Logan and his wife having this kid will make his priorities shift, like Logan said. Hopefully, his priorities shift so drastically that he's not such a selfish, greedy attention seeker. If all goes well, he'll recognize his past behavior for what it is, and he will start to actually change. To be clear, Logan Paul having a baby does not like erase all of the bad things that he's done by any means, and he certainly still deserves to be criticized for all of that. We also need to see that he's making these changes. If he doesn't stop the pattern of behavior that he's shown, he will continue to be criticized to hell, and his child will feel some of that criticism as he grows up. But his recent announcement has me optimistic for the future. Come on, Logan. You can do this. I genuinely believe, Logan, if you put your mind to it, you can do this. You can repair it. I believe in you. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. It was a bit of a long one, I know. Let me know if you guys like this long deep dive video. I had fun making it, so let me know if you want to see more like that. Also, what do you guys think of this new set? I tried to throw something together here. I think it kind of looks cool. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments, and be sure to go check out my podcast because we are killing it over there. We're posting every single Saturday, banger episodes. They've just been getting better and better. I'll put a link for that in the description. You can listen on any platform that you listen to your podcast on. Also, please hit that subscribe button because I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers before my friend JJ does. He's at 20,000 right now. I'm at 40,000, but he's growing pretty quick, and I want to keep my lead. All right, go watch my video about Prime, and I'll see you guys later.